Welcome back to another great episode of Careful Boys. We have with us on the hot seat today Mr. Nimesh Patel. Hey. So the way these episodes work is you are going to be in this very hot seat. We're going to be asking you a series of questions that get a little more intrusive as they go.
Okay.
Intrusive is a good word.
Lucky for you, we always start with Bart, who always just happens to have the coldest possible question.
Or
Ice cold.
Ridiculous ones, but yes. Okay.
He's the question man.
Do your best drowning impression.
That's a question.
That's not a question.
That's a question.
That's not a question.
That's a question, dude.
Say it like a question.
Okay.
That's pretty good. You just did that.
Hey, that's really good.
That's the first request we got from Bart.
Oh, wow. I like that. Please don't Photoshop no dicks going in my mouth.
Oh my god.
That's good.
Because everyone's, isn't it drowning like a violent thing?
Yeah, it's very cool.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, people say like it's like a myth that it's like a quiet drown. No, you drown like very violently.
Yeah, because I think you're resisting, right? Because you're holding your breath. You're resisting as much as you can to the point that you can't.
Right.
And the point that you can't is when you usually inhale with all your might,
Yeah.
and that's when the water is like
in your
boom.
But doesn't that mean it's really only excruciatingly fucked up for like less than 30 seconds?
But it'll feel like an hour.
But it's like pure terror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what's the way you don't want to die? The most fearful way that you just do not want to die?
The most fearful way that I don't. Well, drowning sounds pretty bad.
Especially after we just talked about it.
Stabbing, I hear, is fucking brutal.
As you're sitting in a chair full of swords.
Stab motherfuckers right now, but I just don't want to get stabbed. This is a legit fear in New York these days. And people walk around and cut you up.
Has it ever almost happened?
No, thank God.
What's one of the most? What's one of your biggest fears?
Stabbing again?
Honestly, losing my memory.
Oh, wow.
Like, I've seen, like my grandpa passed away in December of last year, but like he was like sharp.
Yeah.
I was very afraid of just like, I already forget shit all the time. And I'm just like, do I got a brain tumor?
Like getting dementia or Alzheimer's or something?
Yeah, it's fucking
Have you
terrifying.
ever had a
to me.
concussion?
No, not that I know of. But yeah, that's what scares me the most. That's probably my biggest fear that I've never really articulated until right now. But yeah, like just like
Forgetful.
for being not like just having amnesia, not amnesia, but like dementia and like and just like who is everybody? That scares the shit out of me.
So everyone in your life matters a lot to you.
Yes, like it would be so terrifying to like forget people. But you wouldn't even know that that's happening.
And to be that to people you care about.
Exactly. That sounds fucking terrifying. Sorry to be so serious.
No, it's not. It's great.
That is snakes.
Snakes is good, yes.
Amnesia venom?
Yeah. That's fucking terrible.
There is like some sort of subconscious, because my grandma had really bad like Alzheimer's, and my grandpa passed away I think like 2 or 3 years before my grandma, and she would just be like, "Where's Grandpa?" Like she could just feel it, you know.
Yeah.
And then like everyone would just be, "Oh, Grandpa went to the grocery store," and then we would just try to cover up, you know, like, "Oh, he'll be back," because we know she's gonna forget in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But as we cover up, like everyone in the family is like getting like teary-eyed, like, "Oh, it's the grocery store," you know.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, okay, cool. Just tell him hurry up." I'm like, "All right, we will." And then they're just like, "Oh, fuck."
That scares the shit out of me.
Jeez, yeah.
I think it'd be pretty funny on some level. Like, who are you, boy? That'd be pretty funny. Like if I'm watching from the outside, but being in that scares the shit out of me. I don't think that would be enjoyable at all.
That's
Sorry.
No, it's good.
So you, on another episode, you told us about like your journey of being a stand-up comedian, but I have the age-old Asian question that we totally skipped, which is, how does your parents take all of this?
It was rough. My parents were questioning it at first. Then they were like, all right, this is really what he wants to do. Hopefully he can make money somehow, pay his own goddamn rent. And then at some point, maybe 2-3 days ago, they were like, okay, good job. You know?
2 or 3 days ago?
I'm kidding. Yeah.
Nice special.
No, it was, you know, I think last year and this year was when they fully like, all right, he's actually fucking doing some crazy shit because you know, like to sell out theaters and clubs. It's like
So when you told him you were writing for the Oscars, that wasn't.
when I call, I remember it distinctly. When I called my parents and told them, I was like, guys, do you know who's hosting the Oscars this year? Like who? I was like, Chris Rock. My mom was like, which one's that?
I don't care. I don't care.
No, it was more just like, you know, for them to educate them on what stand-up is, the writing like what comedy is in general. Not that they didn't know what stand-up was, but for them to have someone in the world of comedy is like fucking brand new. Like you don't know what that is. Yeah. So their apprehension came from fear of like, can he make something out of himself doing this, as opposed to comedy. Who wants to fucking do that? Yeah. But now it's like, okay, like I'm paying bills, like we're doing shit. And now in the last year and a half, where it's like I'm on my own, I'm doing my own shit, like I'm not depending on a job or anything like that. I just gotta make my own way. I think they finally like, all right, this is a cool path. You're fucking successful. They came to my special taping. They saw, you know, 400 people twice, sold out in New York City. Like, oh, shit, motherfuckers made it. You know, it was like,
Were they laughing?
My dad at one point, yes, my dad at one point at the end of the special, I shout my parents out for like, what's it called? A, being in the room or whatever. And I said, my parents are here, thank you for being. My dad got up and was like,
Yes. I told them to do it the whole time.
That's my boy.
I wish I had that on camera, man.
Oh
like
God.
my sister was sitting with him, she's like, Dad got up and just waved to everybody. Like, hey, that's my son. Like, I was like, God damn. Yeah, it was fucking awesome, man.
Next time you need a dedicated dad cam.
yeah, for sure.
Stick on him the whole
And that was the first time they came to one of your shows.
No, that was like the third time.
Oh, that's
they came once or twice. Yeah, but this was like the special. They took the night off. You know, my dad works a lot, so like they took the night off and came out, and it was just like, it was fucking dope to see.
Do you have any bits about your parents?
My entire closing bit is about how my parents caught me smoking weed. I did it on Fallon, but they caught me. This is a true story. Like I was doing live streams on YouTube for like a lot of pandemic, just to like have something to do and like write and shit. And part of it was like me getting high and like just talking shit to camera, like just working out bits. And my dad, I forgot because I was high probably, that my dad like watches literally all of it. and so oh my God. And so like I'm doing the live stream and my dad will watch me like on the live stream, like he'll just keep the phone on his like what's it called, dashboard, while he's driving home. And I'm live streaming at the time when he's driving home from work at like 10 o'clock at night. He works at a liquor store, so he, like, I remember getting the phone call the next morning. He didn't call, he like had to process it at night that his son is smoking weed live.
So you were like hitting a joint live?
Hitting a joint live. Hey guys, what's up YouTube? You know, like 7 people. And, and my dad calls me the next morning, and my mom calls me actually. My mom's like, Dad's very upset with you. What were you smoking last night? I was just like, Mom, it was just weed. She's like, you need to stop. My dad was like, you need to quit. I told him, the bit is, I told him to stop smoking. He's like, I'm not gonna argue with you. Like, he smokes cigarettes, and I'm like, quit smoking cigarettes, I'll quit smoking weed. He's like, shut up. I know when I got you, Dad. I know when I got you, but I understand where you're coming from.
He's like, not my cigarettes.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, no, these Newports have been with me.
They never talk back like you.
Is he cracking up at that joke?
Yeah, now he's like, you're welcome.
That was me.
Yeah.
I just waves again.
The original bit was, that bit evolved, but the original bit was, he caught me smoking weed, and then, you know, we were, like, weed was on the ballot for New Jersey, like, to legalize it or whatever. And I was at home, and I was like, Dad, you gotta vote for this. And he just, like, looks at the yes or no column, he just looks at me and says, nope. Man, cold-blooded motherfucker, man. That was it. He's still against all that shit, you know, but they can't really do anything about my drug use because it's worked out.
Does it affect your performance knowing that your parents are in the audience?
Not really. I mean, the first 1 or 2 times it did a little bit, but you know, that was the first time they came to see me was probably like, you know, 3 or 4 years before the special. They saw me at the Cellar. But that, at that point, I was like, nah, it don't matter. I didn't even think about them being in the crowd beyond like when it was time to shout them out. It was just like, all right, I know they're rooting for me, and I can't see them, so I don't. They already know all my stuff.
You said you had like 16 first cousins that came out and like watched your like first show and stuff like that, right? Do you feel like since you've taken the reins of comedy and just kind of doing something different, has any of your like family or immediate or larger extended family, anybody like start kind of like thinking different, looking up to you and being like, maybe I don't want to, be a doctor, maybe I want to be a funny man?
I hope. I mean, no one has broken from deviated from their past. That's cool. That's set. I was second oldest, but among the eight siblings on my mom's side and 10 on my dad's side.
Wow.
But they were all like a year or two apart, so no one's really been able to be like, oh, Nimesh did this, so now we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
I hope that some of the younger ones,
the new generation, like their kids or whatever.
Yeah. I hope they can see like, oh, you can do whatever the fuck you want. But I do know that. Some of my cousins who are a bit more entrepreneurial, like, man, Nimesh is doing this cool shit. Like, we shouldn't be afraid to strike out and do shit on our own too.
That's badass.
That's cool.
Which is great.
Did their parents use you as an example? Like, you want to be like your cousin?
I hope so.
But in a way where like, you want to end up like him?
No, I mean, for a while, I'm sure, because for a while, it was like, I was in and out of jobs and all this kind of stuff, and I'm sure that was never something that my cousins would want apart for themselves. But now it's like, the hard work has paid off, and they're all just like, can we get tickets to the show? I'm like, yes, of course, you can get tickets. Everyone can get tickets,
That's cool.
It's been fun.
All right, I'm gonna turn up the heat a little bit.
Yeah, and these are light.
Yeah.
Minus the drowning thing.
Out of
That was heavy, huh?
out of all the Indian comedians, which one's the most overrated?
So she goes, eyes. He goes, which one's the most overrated?
Let's see. The Indian guy, Apu. Apu is the most overrated. No, I don't know. Me, probably. There's a safe answer, man.
Man,
You gotta understand something. All these people are my friends.
that's true.
All of them?
That's true.
I would say so.
Who's your favorite Indian comedian then?
Me? That's the easy one.
No, not including you. Out of the ones that are.
Well, I gotta shout Russell Peters out. He's an OG, man. I don't think I wouldn't even think subconsciously if I think back at it. Russell was the first Indian comic I ever saw on. It was 2004 when his special like leaked on YouTube, and my boy and I still my friend to this day. My floor mate at the time at NYU, we bonded over that special.
Yeah.
And so Russell has like this huge place in my heart. And if you watch my comedy now, it's not on purpose, but it is definitely a function of seeing like Russell was very conversational when he talks to like people in the crowd and stuff. And not to say he's the first person to ever invent crowd work or anything like that, but that style of like I've emulated some of that. I've been like, I'm gonna talk to the crowd and then move into material, and that is like by no small coincidence, like a function of probably having seen him do that and make it seem so like personal and seamless. Like he does it really well. In that first special, especially, which is the only special I've seen. With someone gonna get hurt real bad, where he's like talking to the crowd and
Somebody gotta get hurt.
Real bad.
That special was one of the first specials I think that made my stomach hurt.
From laughing so hard.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I showed my parents that special. Like that was probably one of the first specials we watched together, and it's probably one of three that we've watched together. First one being Dana Carvey's like whatever came out in '96 with Chopping Broccoli, and the second one being Bigger and Blacker, and the third one being Russell Peters. I don't even know what it's called, that first one. The leaked Canadian one.
But somebody gonna get a hurt really bad.
That's so good.
We just had the file. We didn't
Yeah,
know the
I
name
don't
of
remember
it.
the name, but I just shared that link around, and
good.
But that was like a seminal moment, in my subconscious at least, to be like, oh, Russell Peters does stand-up comedy. Like maybe that could be something I'd pursue. It was like the first person to show that you can do that kind of shit.
Have you ever wanted to joke about something, but you just like knew it's too far, you can't?
Too spicy.
Yeah, you just stop yourself.
Well,
AKA say the joke now.
I mean, there was a moment where I was thinking, I forget which school shooting it was,
Good old school shooting jokes.
but it was several years ago before I'd been passed. I was at Stand Up New York in Upper West Side of Manhattan, and I think it happened just after a school shooting, and I was just angry when I was on stage because like the fact that we were so apathetic to the shootings. Then I went on stage, like, yeah, a bunch of kids died today, you know, and it was just like, I don't know why we're so upset. People die all the time, and it wasn't delivered right. Even still, like it doesn't hit as funny, but in the moment, it was funny to me that we didn't give a fuck. And now, if I ever touch the subject, which I do, and thank you, China, especially a little bit. Yeah. I do touch it very loosely. Which again, there's no necessarily third rail. I just had to figure out how to do it. Yeah. But at the time, that was one of those things like I shouldn't joke about it, and I tried to, and it fucking fell on my face. You know, everyone was like, "Fuck this guy." And it's like, yeah, that's probably deserved in hindsight. But no, the short answer is no. There's nothing I won't joke about as long as I think I can find something funny about it.
Right.
But there's also like right now. The comedy all feels like hot takes about something, and so my current hour that I'm working on is like deeply personal. It's not. I mean, I have some random snippets of what's going on in society and stuff, but for the most part, it's like I've gone the other way. Like I don't watch the news. I don't know what's going on in the world. Like some of the stuff you said is very unfamiliar to me. Most of it, you know, like I don't give a fuck. Like I've realized that I gotta think about me a lot right now, and so there's nothing about me I won't joke about. You know?
That's cool. Has becoming famous
famous?
Yeah, I mean you're pretty famous compared to when you started.
Yes, for sure. But yeah,
Has
that's
that
not
Did your dad stand up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is being more famous in the comedian world affected in any way your relationship with your wife?
Not at all. If anything, it's solidified it because I can always. I'm very proud of my curve game in the sense that people hit me in the DMs like, are you single? Yes, but only for my wife. You know, like that.
Wow.
That shit is so much. It's fun to do that, and you know, it's
fun to reject people. Yeah.
It's not even rejection. It's just like, you know, it's like innovative ways to say no to somebody.
Yeah. Make them jokes.
Yeah. But you know, I was talking to my friend. I was with my friend Mookie Thompson the other night. We were at Stress Factory in New Brunswick, and the owner at Vinnie Brand asked me a very similar question about like, what's it like? You know, that must have been tough right now. It's like, and Mookie said it perfectly. It's like, no, that's what's made him so focused and able to pursue comedy in this sense. I got this rock of Gibraltar at home. Well, I don't need to be thinking about pussy and chasing girls and all this kind of shit. Like I got what I want, need at home already. Like. I'm gonna just stay focused on the game. And sure, like Naomi Campbell hasn't come knocking yet. You know, there's still time. But if Doja Cat wants to holler, we can have a conversation. But
Keep spitting them out. Keep spitting out. Who else, man? Shoot your shot, dude.
Who are your
Dwayne Johnson hit me up. You know, like I'll fucking do it. Like,
who are your hall passes?
Doja. But beyond that, you know, like no, you know, the answer is no. Like,
That's cool.
If anything, like I'm more on my game because I know what's gonna come to a certain extent. Like I've very famous friends, all this kind of shit. So I just kind of see what happens. I'm like, oh, I know how to avoid this and that trap and all this. Like I don't go out after shows. I don't hang out. I'll have a drink maybe or two, but beyond that, like I'm ghost. I go home.
Wow.
before it's over, if you had to stab anyone in the world, who would it be?
If I had to murder somebody.
Stab. I said stab. Don't take it out of context.
They don't have to die. Just hurt somebody
No,
real
just
hard.
stab.
C6, C5.
If I had to stab, what kind of question?
Stab a circle around the heart like that.
You don't damage the heart though.
Yeah, it just goes like that. So don't worry, the heart's okay, but you just stab a big circle.
It's like the knife is like a love knife too. You know what I mean? Just so it feels a little better.
Stab somebody in the world.
If I had to stab anybody.
Okay, just bitch slap him like Will Smith then.
Mitch McConnell, I think, would make a good stab.
Mitch McConnell?
Victim. Yeah, I think he'd make a good.
He makes a good stab victim.
Yeah, like right beneath, like above this part, like right here, in between his shell. You know, his fucking turtle ass mother. Like right, fucking break that shell off.
Shout out to Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, I think that would be fun. I do not want to murder Mitch McConnell. Please don't come at me. This is not a death threat at all. Okay, I hope Mitch McConnell lives a very short life, but he's been fucking around for 8 billion years.
His time is coming.
Yeah. That was a hot one. Now I was sweating a little bit.
Yeah.